Hi, guys. I just wanted to give you a little bit of support for your reading passages this week. Now, when you open the assignment this week for reading passage 1, it's going to look like this. This will be the title, Reading Passage 1, The Surfer Girl. Only your name will be right here. Otherwise, the page should look exactly the same. So, I'm going to help you with your reading. So, we're going to start reading this first passage. When I open it and look at the page, this text is way too small for my eyes. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to zoom it. So I'm going to go up to the top and I'm going to find the magnifying glass with the plus and it says zoom. I'm going to click on it. Now it's yellow, so I know that it's activated and it'll work for me. I'm going to come back down here. See, my cursor is now the magnifying glass with the plus. And I'm going to click once on my text so that it zooms in. Now, it's very important that I go back to the top and click on the zoom button again. So now it's white and it is not activated. So whenever I click, it's not going to zoom in anymore. All right, let's start with the Surfer Girl. When she was little, Lucy never dreamed she would become a professional surfer. She was too obsessed with horseback riding to think of much else. All her toys were horse-related. Her walls were covered with horse posters. When she got home from school, the first thing she did was run to the stable where her parents kept Barney, her stallion. Over time, though, the work of keeping a horse started to wear her down. Cleaning the stable, brushing Barney every day, shoveling hay, it was a lot of work. The summers were especially hard. Temperatures in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, could reach upwards of 100 degrees. Who should be expected to wear jodhpurs and a riding helmet on a 100-degree day? She asked her mother one time. Go to the side. I'm going to click on page 2 to bring it up. I'm going to scroll to the top. Oh. Not me, her mother replied. I'm thankful I get to wear a skirt and a tank top. Lucy's mind was made up one day in August. She was trotting with Barney around an obstacle course, preparing to perform some jumps. All of a sudden, a hedgehog came bounding across the ground. Spooked by the animal, Barney rose on his hind legs and sent Lucy tumbling into the dirt. That's it, Lucy thought as she dusted herself off. I am officially done with horseback riding. She resolved to spend the rest of the summer at the beach. She would later recall this as the moment that set her future in motion. For years, Lucy had been so consumed with horses, she hadn't noticed how popular surfing was among her friends. Surfing, she realized, was the thing to do. By age 10, half the boys and girls she knew had their own surfboards. That Christmas, she asked her parents for her own board. But she quickly realized that surfing is not easy. Watching her friends and their surf videos, it looked pretty straightforward. A wave comes and you paddle into it. Then you stand up and ride the wave in. Anyway, South Carolina was not Hawaii. The waves rarely got bigger than 3 or 4 feet in height. Once you got into the water, things were not so simple. Waves moved a lot faster than she thought. Often the entire wave broke at the same time. This prevented you from actually riding it. Instead, she discovered it crashed right on top of you, sending you and your board flying. She was discouraged at first. She would never be as good as the pro surfers whose videos she watched at her friends' houses. By now, her friends had a few years of experience on her. As Lucy got tossed around in the surf, they were up riding waves. They gave each other high fives on the beach. She tried not to get angry at the sight of it. Still, Lucy was athletic and determined. If I can learn how to balance atop a sprinting horse, she thought, I can learn to ride a piece of fiberglass on a wave. And so she kept at it. Since her house was just a 10-minute walk from the beach, she started surfing before school. As soon as the bell rang at 2 p.m., Lucy jumped on her bike and pedaled back out to the water, her surfboard tucked under her arm. She improved rapidly. Her friends took notice. 2 years after she got her first board, Lucy was already performing moves they had never tried. When hurricanes off the coast increased the size of the waves, her friends tended to stay on the beach. They watched the older boys and girls surf instead, not Lucy. "Why are you guys just sitting here?" she asked them before rushing into the water. "Look at the size of those waves!" Before long, Lucy was winning local surf contests. The Eastern Surfing Association hosted competitions up and down the coast. In recent years, they had paid more attention to the talented girls who were competing. Big name surf companies were always on the hunt for new talent to feature in their videos and advertisements. When a team manager saw Lucy at a contest in Jacksonville Beach, Florida, she signed her on the spot. Other companies followed. By 14, Lucy was sponsored by several surf brands. She got so much free clothing that she gave most of it away to her friends. They were grateful. Many of them had gazed longingly at the same shorts and bathing suits and sandals at the mall, where the items cost as much as $70 a piece, and now they were getting them for free. One of the perks of being a sponsored surfer, Lucy discovered, is that companies pay you to travel to beaches around the world. In return, they ask you to allow photographers to shoot pictures of you. True, they usually required you to wear what they wanted you to. But why would you care if you're on the southern coast of France or the white sand beaches of the Maldive Islands? The constant travel posed a problem, however. Lucy had to withdraw from school. She couldn't show up to class 5 days a week and still travel to Tahiti on a moment's notice. So, her parents hired a tutor. To keep up with her assignments, she got used to studying calculus and chemistry textbooks on international flights. She'd surf all morning, take a study break for lunch, surf again, and then hit the books after dinner. Despite not being in the classroom, she managed to get good grades. She even got a few A's here and there. But the stress of life on the road took a toll on her. "I know I shouldn't be complaining," she emailed her friend Denise one night from a hotel in Indonesia. "I get sent to the most beautiful places on the planet every month, and I get to do what I love, surfing every day, all day. But once you've seen 10 white sand beaches with crystal clear water and perfect waves, they all start to blend together. I never used to understand why people who grew up on tropical islands in the Caribbean wanted to move to cities like Los Angeles or New York. They're living in a tropical paradise. Why would they want to live amidst the dirt and grime of a city? But now I sort of know what they mean." Traveling around the globe, Lucy started to miss her friends. While she was away in Bali or Australia, her girlfriends began to go on dates. They joined the field hockey, basketball, and lacrosse teams. They started to learn to drive and went shopping for jeans at the mall. Lucy still sent them her extra boxes of clothing, of course, but as they got older, they weren't as interested in wearing surf related items all the time. By the time she turned 16, Lucy's surf career was soaring. She placed in the top 10 in the junior division of the Association of Surfing Professionals, the highest achievement for female surfers under 21. In a few more years, she would be allowed to qualify for the professional tour. The Pro Tour, as it was called, was as far as you could go as a surfer. Only 17 girls around the world were able to compete at such a high level. Lucy still wanted to be among them. Her heroine was a female surfer named Carlita Moroni, a beautiful Floridian surfer with blonde hair and amazing surf style. Carlita had qualified for the Pro Tour at age 19. She was now 23 and had appeared on the covers of magazines like Surfer and Trans World Surf. When Lucy realized that she and Carlita would be surfing at the same contest in Puerto Rico that summer, she decided to say hello. The waves on contest day were intimidating, to say the least. A sharp reef lay just 6 feet underwater. If you fell, you were likely to get scraped up. Lucy competed in her junior heats, but she surfed scared. She wound up placing 6th overall. When the pro sessions began, she made her way to the water's edge to watch Carlita. She had never seen a woman so fearless in the water. During the men's events, some of the guys paddled back in, claiming the waves were too rough. "I'd rather not lose an arm on that reef," one of them said as he walked up the beach with his board. But Carlita stayed out. She caught huge wave after huge wave, and she did it with style, snapping her board against the lip of the water. The spectators on the beach gasped in amazement. That night, the contest organizers held a bonfire on the beach for all the surfers. Carlita, as usual, was swarmed by admirers. "How are you not terrified in that surf?" one of them asked her. "I didn't even want to paddle out." Carlita laughed. She seemed flattered by the attention. As the night wore on, though, she distanced herself from the group. Lucy, who had been eyeing at her all night, watched as Carlita made her way to the edge of the water. Seeing her opportunity, she pounced. "Carlita?" Lucy asked as she approached. "Oh, hey," Carlita said, a bit startled. "How's it going? You're Lucy, right?" Lucy blushed. Carlita knew who she was. "Yeah, that's me all right," she said quickly and changed the subject. "You were really amazing out there today. I mean, I'm sure everyone's been telling you that, but you're just, like, my favorite surfer of all time. I felt I should tell you that." Carlita smiled and looked out at the waves. "Thanks," she said, and stood there silently for a while. Then she said, "How old are you, by the way?" 16, Lucy said. "Wow," Carlita said. "I remember being 16. That was the year I quit school to surf full time, which seemed like a good idea at the time." "What do you mean?" Lucy said, growing nervous. "Well, it's a big deal to leave your hometown, your friends, and your family at such a young age. I've had a blast as a professional surfer. I've traveled all over the world and met so many amazing people. But sometimes I think I would have been happier as a regular kid, hanging out with my friends back in Florida." Lucy sympathized completely. She felt as if she were talking to her older self. "I know exactly what you mean," she said. "We live the most amazing life. I feel guilty for complaining, but I'm not really sure who I am anymore. I wish I could spend more time back home." Thinking about her friends and family back home in South Carolina, Lucy suddenly began to cry. "Oh, sweetie," Carlita said, pulling Lucy in for a hug. "I'm sorry if I upset you. I'm just in a strange mood today. Those huge waves out there today must have got me thinking." "Yeah, they were pretty huge," Lucy said, sniffling. "You know, the one consolation is that we're all in this together," Carlita said. "The other girls on tour are like my family now. We're competitive, but we also support each other through everything. They're always there for me, and I'm always there for them." "I guess I have to start making more friends in the surf world," Lucy said. "Well, you've got one right here," she said. "Really?" Lucy said, brightening. "You'll be my friend?" "Of course," Carlita said. "Let's go back to the barbecue. I know some girls I think you should meet." And that was the end of The Surfer Girl. Now let's scroll down to the next page. Go ahead and come over here and click, and these are where your questions start on page 7. So make sure that you're scrolling all the way down on the left side here so that you get to 7 and 8, because that's where your questions are. So let's take a look at the first question on page 7. If you look here, these are some new directions for you. They're bright yellow. Directions. Use the circles below and drag them over the correct answer for questions 1 through 4. So if you look here, do you see how your cursor is now a 4-pointed and it has arrows on each one? So what you're going to do is you're going to put it over a circle. You're going to click down with one finger and you're going to drag with the other finger to make it move around. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're just going to drop it there. So now I'm just going to let go with both my fingers. And now your circle is over here and not over here. So let's go ahead and read our question and then figure out where we're going to put our circle. So your first question. What activity does Lucy start after horseback riding? Your options: A, surfing, B, sailing, C, biking, or D, motorcycling. Now, I'm going to give you the answer to this first one because I'm pretty sure everybody's going to get it. The whole thing and the title is about surfing, so if you got that one wrong, that's pretty disappointing. But so you're going to move your circle again. You're going to click down with one finger and drag with another finger. Drag it right over to on top of the letter of the answer that you want to give, A, surfing, and then you're just going to drop it. And now if I go and I click the next circle, and I'm going to bring it down to number 2 so that I can pick my answer, you'll see that the circle we just dropped over our answer for number 1, it's just going to, that blue box is going to disappear. So let's go ahead and pick another circle, click down with one finger, drag with the other, and now you can see up here that your circle is set and you have marked your answer. So let's go ahead and let's read number 2. What event in the story makes Lucy switch from horseback riding to surfing? So let's see, what are we going to answer? Is it going to be A, Lucy meets Carlita Maroney, B, Lucy falls off a horse, C, Lucy sees a surf video, or D, Lucy gets tossed around in the surf? So you're going to take your circle and you're going to pick the best answer and you're going to just put it right over the letter that you want to answer and you'll drop it. I'm going to pick a random one so that I'm not giving you the answer, and you just drop it where it needs to be. Okay, so let me read through the rest of the questions for you. So 3, Lucy wants to be a part of the Lucy wants to be part of the surfing pro tour. Traveling around the world to surf makes Lucy miss her friends at home. What can be concluded from this information? A, Lucy hates surfing. B, Lucy has mixed feelings about surfing. C, Lucy does not want to become a professional surfer. Or D, Lucy is excited about meeting Carlita Maroney. You're going to use the information up here to make your conclusion about how she feels. Use this information right here that they gave you to make your conclusion. Pick the one that makes, how does she feel? Number 4, why does Lucy feel like she is talking to her older self when speaking to Carlita Maroney? A, Carlita is almost the same age as Lucy. B, Carlita and Lucy look a lot alike. C, Carlita is a beautiful Floridian surfer with blonde hair and an amazing surf style. Or D, Carlita has been through what Lucy is going through now. So you're going to go up to the top, grab your circle, drag it down, and place it over the letter that you think is the correct answer. Let's go to the next page. All right. This is the page with questions 5, 6, and 7. Again, you have 3 circles right here for 5, 6, and 7. Number 5, what is the theme of this story? A, how too much money can ruin a person's life if he or she is not careful. B, the importance of protecting oceans and ocean life from pollution. C, the difference between being happy and being successful at something. Or D, the difficulty of raising a family while working a full-time job. What is the theme of the story? What is the whole story about? A, B, or C? Drag your circle over to 5 and place it over the correct answer. Number 6, read the following sentence. She resolved to spend the rest of the summer at the beach. She would later recall this as the moment that set her future in motion. What does the phrase set her future in motion mean? A, made her decide on a job that involved driving. B, had a big impact on her life afterward. C, caused her to act like a grown-up. Or D, made her wonder where she would live. What does the phrase set her future in motion in this sentence? What does this mean? A, B, or C? And finally, number 7, choose the answer that best completes the sentence below. Lucy likes some things about being a surfer. Blank dislikes others. So dislikes others. Specifically dislikes others. First dislikes others. Or yet dislikes others. Which of these, A, B, C, or D, fits the best in the blank? All right, guys, I hope that helped you be able to complete your assignments for your first reading passage this week, The Surfer Girl.